Major subsystem of power quality monitoring is pre-processing, processing, and post-processing. Pre-processing is nothing but we have to pre-process the data because due to this power quality disturbance, the data are captured by your CTs, right, and the sensor through the CTs, and the current and voltage signals are captured. While capturing the signals, it have a lot of disturbance. It's a raw data, so it has a lot of disturbance, and this disturbance to be with a lot of noise also sometimes because of the recording. So some noise also, and moreover here you can
The
find lot
slides
of
are not visible.
not visible. Just a minute. Is it visible now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
it is now visible.
Okay. Okay, this is a previous slide, and this is my present discussion. Okay, so major subsystem for this power quality monitoring. So I started with that power quality monitoring devices. Now the monitoring systems are comprises of this following components. So raw data. So the raw data, right? Maybe you can have the unwanted noise, or in this particular waveform, there is a more number of values are present, but I may concentrate only the particular time durations. So everything to be removed. So that is happening in this pre-processing stage. There only your wavelet transform play the roles. About extracting the your informations, extracting the required information. I can put it in the other format, right? I just my interesting area, where the interesting area, that place I have to take the data. For that purpose, these wavelet transforms play the major role. It comes under the pre-processing stage. Once the data are collected according to our requirement, then it can given to the processing stage. Processing stage, you can take some of the system based some decision. Okay, already systems has trained, right? Well, this type of problems happen, what type of action to be taken. So that is the things. For that they need some of the old data, some forecasting data is required, that is right there and available in the database. So by using these informations, they will take some decision. If suppose it's a new type of disturbance, right, we cannot able to any decisions here, they can go for the some fast decision making, that is called as a fuzzy hard decision making. There is a fuzzy logic you are maybe used, that here you can rules to be framed by the designer. They have to frame the rules, and this has to be take the decision, then finally can give into the disturbance category, right? Which type of disturbance. So that will give you the what type of things are required, right? What type of solutions are required, right? So that can be done it here. Okay. Now this is nothing but elaboration of the previous diagram, black diagram. So it can, the two-way solution can be obtained here. Okay, and the raw data. Sometimes you can take the direct decision, right, from the given available informations. Then take the direct decision. Either can go the sensitive equipment designers or developing, right? You can have the developing PQ standard committees based on their input, customer utility contracts and mitigation equipment designers based on this information, based on the available informations provided by this the right persons or these particular committees, right? From these rules framed by this particular thing, we can take the decision. Okay, that is a direct decision. Another is called as a, from the raw data we cannot do the things, we have to detect and classify, right, from by using the segmentation of the data and quantifying some information to be done, some diagnostic, then we can need the solutions. Okay, so this and all the various things. Sometimes you can certain decision, sometimes we need the other supporting teams, right, information everything. So that's about the detailed steps of this particular things, right? Now the power quality monitoring concept with the monitoring at the substation and the selected customers locations, right? Here also the quality maybe can monitor and the device wise, or in the grid wise, or in the feeder wise, or in the at least system wise, in the industry wise, or in the within the industry, one particular load, or through the grid, or from the feeder side. So this based on the your what is the motivations and what is important. Based on that important, I can select the, I can decide the area. Obviously, it requires the cost. If you monitor only one load, means this is a lesser cost. If you monitor for India's industry, cost is increased slightly. If I want to monitor the entire load in the particular feeder. Again, it increases. So that complexity also increases, and consequently your costs also going to be increased. So you have to compensate optimization of these two. You'll get the your we can decide the where the quality to be monitored and maintained. Okay, because in industry may not require all the places maintaining the quality and the quality maintained and monitor. Only few places are required. So that places we can adapt it so that cost can be saved considerably. Right. Energy and demand applications where you can use these particular power quality monitoring systems, energy and demand profiling and energy management systems, right? We can have the forecasting, everything can use this energy and this particular power quality monitoring. Harmonic evaluations, right? How much of harmonics are present, right? Now some of the industries they are keep on is monitor, and some of the energy that energy auditing also taken place, right? All right, everything, right? How much harmonics are inducing, so that how much that due to that, what are the impact on the system, what are the losses, everything they are making a detailed survey. So using this power quality monitoring can be done, and voltage profile characterization, right? Characterization can be done. So how the voltage get vary based on I think the very first after first few slides I put, right, while charging about 134 cycles of right cycles, how the your pattern of the voltage get vary, right? So that was shown. So those kind of profile can be studied here. Based on that, we can adapted the particular methodology to reduce the stress on the system. Switching performance, equipment performance monitoring, capacitor bank filters, right? Equipment this while designing of these things, and performance index calculation like a THT, TT, and you have power factors. So everything can be done by using this power quality monitoring. Trends in power quality management. Power quality monitoring is to be used as a systems approach, and the power quality monitoring should be continuously assess the performance of the system and assist the identifying the problems. Okay. So this continuously can assess, or also you can identifying the problems, provide information for long-term evaluation performance. So that is the important things, right? Recent trend is going on this power quality management side. Okay, for long evaluation performance. Important developments in power quality monitoring is the implementation of intelligence system to automatically evaluate the disturbances, condition to make conclusion about the causes of the problem, or even predict problems before they occur. So that is an important point, how these particular systems can operate better in the future days, in forthcoming days, right? So you can able to predict fault in well in advance, so that the consumers can get the reliable power supply. Right. Now, web-based power quality monitoring system to support remote power quality inspecting and analyzing across the global wide area networks, right? WAN. Through the WAN, you can able to monitor and control the all the your this power quality side. Okay. Now, what is you can see the block diagram of power quality monitoring system. So these are important block diagrams, right? You can have what are the sub components are present based on that rules based rule and so rules are framed. It's like an expert system application, right? We can if you use the expert system to monitor this power quality monitoring, we can have the classification like this, right? Now the ideal characteristics monitoring, capture extract disturbance waveform at any causes, any noise is present should to be done. Categorize disturbance steadily in steady state and transient state. Whatever the cases, it has to be categorized and extract the disturbance feature and identify the components. Classify the disturbance according to the particular standards. Here we are doing we are using the IEEE standards 1159 1995. Do a trend analysis. So based on the trend, what their load pattern are using, recent, past, and future, right? They can able to do the analysis and the uh, do contribution analysis and locate the sources, right? Where the disturbance occur and what are the causes of disturbance, right? Everything, location of the identifying the location, reduction classification is much important for this side. Okay. Now improve. So from the study, we need some improvement of quality. So how the solutions can be adapted? It is very clear that large man hours or resources are wasted if you use the to achieve the previous slide right objectives, right? If you want to meet the objectives, there is a large number of man sources are needed. So that is going to be this routine work. But for that, some fault or disturbance may occur very rarely, right? For that, you have to use the huge human power. Hence, the world where research has been triggered to efficient schemes to improve the power quality. The source and the causes of such disturbance must be known before appropriate mitigation actions are taken place. Okay, so before to do certain solutions, we must know what is the main source and what are the causes due to that. Based on that, solution to be taken. Okay, sometimes source also is very away and the causes also very little bit, but should not take the immediate actions. So you have to wait. Sometimes even the small disturbance may cause us huge, so you have to take the immediate action. So such kind of guidelines should be developed and to be followed. Capability to detect and localize those disturbances and further identifying the classes of disturbance, deriving new techniques to estimate the disturbance detection and classification. So manual procedure have been developed to take more time due to large amount of effort required, such as procedure costly and efficient. So that's why they're going for the automated system. So that this is the procedure how your classifications are taken place, identifying the problems, problem categorization, identifying the range, which range you have to do that based on the cost effective things you have to do that, and solutions, modeling analysis, you have to evaluate that new technical ideas. Finally, go with the optimum. Optimum means with the cost effective, time effective, you have to do that. Okay, for that we are going for the new ideas, right? So what are the methodologies employed? Advanced signal processing, including Chekhov's theory, wavelet transform is the one of the main things are used here. Pattern recognition, classification using artificial intelligence, including fuzzy logic, artificial neural networks, self-organizing map, multi-layer feed forward perception. Okay, so these are different solution methodologies are available. Here, what are the main tools we consider this our work is the important enablers for the development of power quality monitoring areas are digital signal processing, internet, and transform techniques. So these are all important tools is required to monitor and do the processing stage. So here we are concentrating the most mathematical techniques are and new their application power system have been relatively recently to large number of new applications in the power quality monitoring. So these transform techniques are used. The most mathematical techniques used here it is wavelet technique. So coming now the wavelet terms coming to the wavelet weight coming to the action and from this slide. Okay, now we'll discuss about the wavelet transforms. So this is the main content of the wavelet transform we have discussed. So from this we conclude that there is a need of some transform techniques, and we have narrowed down for this particular transform techniques. I'm using wavelet transform. In the wavelet transform slide, I tell you why I'm going for this wavelet in particular about this particular application. Still available the different transform techniques. Okay, now I'm concentrating the Fourier transform because of very basics of wavelet transform is a Fourier, it's a fundamental. So they are derived from the Fourier transform. That's why I'm taking this Fourier transforms. Then introduction of wavelets, wavelet transform, types of wavelet applications. How we can use this for our removing your unwanted signals and how to take the decision, everything can be done. Okay, now is a Fourier, I think is a very famous, right? Everybody knows those who are taking already handling this for the DSP signal systems, right? Come across this particular Fourier transforms, and Fourier transform. I think we have studied in mathematics 3 also, right? Right. An arbitrary function, continuous or with the discontinuities, defined in a definite finite interval by an arbitrarily capricious graph can always be expressed as a sum of sinusoids. So this is about the Fourier definition. And the story of the wavelets, right? We can use the initially it is the Fourier transform. The Fourier transform have certain drawbacks. They are invented this short Fourier transform that is called as a window Fourier transform. Then again there is a drawback of short Fourier transform can be overcome with the wavelet transform. Again, the wavelet transform can expand it to the multi-resolution analysis, means you have the depth analysis can be done. So the application, whatever you conventional application, you can use for the data compression, de-noising, solution of PQ problems, biometric signal analysis. Everything is much useful this particular wavelets, and it is a unconventional applications. Yes, we can do that wavelets too also, right? Historical 18 to 1940s region of the design of Fourier transforms, and the 1940-70 STFD and subband coding, 1980 to 1990s wavelet transform, and again now we are using modified wavelet transform, S transform, wavelet tree. There is a different further development has been done. Is a the mathematical side they are doing. We are using that application to our purpose, right? They are using that technique for our applications. Okay. Right. Now, what is transform and why we need do we need one? Okay, that transform. So mathematical operations that takes a function or sequence and maps into another one. So that is very simple. Transform means we are transforming from one domain to another domain. For example, take the time domain to S domain. That is called S transform. All right, we can sorry not S transform. Right, you can have it as a right. We can have what is that? You can have this Fourier transform. Right, can be do that. Right, Laplace transform. Right, we can convert. Right. Right, we can convert one domain to another domain. Okay, you can do that. Then if suppose your time domain to frequency domain, it is called as a Fourier transform or frequency transform. We can do that. We're converting one domain to another domain. It is simply and just we need the additional information we are doing. Now inside the content everything is same, right? Even signals are converted from one domain to another domain. The content present inside the signal is same. Just for our further analysis, further processing purpose, we are transforming it to one into another. We are do all the process. At the end, again, we are doing the inverse transformation. That's the process are taken place, all the processor and all the your types of applications. So transform are good thing because the transform function may give additional hidden information about the original function, which may not be available obvious otherwise. So this is a important things. Some if you want to see some hidden informations, we have to see transforms. The transform of an equation may be easier to solve the original equation. Recall memories of Laplace transform differential equations, right? If you take differential equations, you have integration and differentiation, right? But if you take the Laplace transform, all integration converting into 1 by s form and differentiation converting into s multiply that value, right? So that is a advantage of Laplace transform. Like that, you have every transform, it has own merits and demerits. Based on the merits, now we are trying to use that Euler transform for our applications. Transform of a function or sequence may require less storage, hence provide data compression reduction. An operation may be easier to apply on the transformed function rather than the original function. Okay, now this is our basic Fourier transform. Many of you have seen already, right? What is a Fourier transform? What is the kernel? Everything, right? Now the f of t is the we are given input signal. This is our kernel. So just a conversion of these two, we are getting the values, right? Based on that value, I'll just show this, right? You can, if you apply it, right? How we can get the waveforms? I can get this. So finally, this is our Fourier transform, that is we're converting into the frequency domain. This time domain signals are converting into frequency domain, and this is the inverse Fourier transform. So this is after converting, we have do all type of analysis. After process over, again you have to reconstruct the original signal. They are using the inverse transform. So whatever the input is given here, the same thing you get, but in between you can do the process. Or you can take the content, right? Whatever you can want to see that, everything can do that. Okay. Right. Now, how does our FT work? Can see that. Recall the FT Fourier transform complex exponential sinusoid as a building blocks. You can have cos plus j sin t. Just we can operate with our given signals, right? You can have these things. These are fundamentals. Even you can in the Google also have a lot of tutorials are available. You can just go through that. How we can the signals are divided into cos function, sin function, everything. If signal does not have any spectral component, a frequency correlation, at the frequency is low or zero, small or FT coefficient also becomes zero, right? This is a cases now with the practical examples how our FT works, right? For example, in MATLAB we can put as a cos 2 pi frequency, let us assume 5 hertz. So we can have the waveform is like this, right? If your frequency is 25 hertz, waveform is like this. 50 hertz means because when increase in frequency, time get reduces. So the exact is match with this, right? When increase in frequency, so the time get reduces. So that's the cases here. Now you can see for different x-axis time, y-axis is the magnitude. You can have this here. Magnitude is 1. So this is a 1. So I can get this, right? So now if you apply f of t for this, you can have this. So exactly at 5 hertz, it is 25 hertz, here's a 50 hertz. So this clearly indicates, right, what is the frequency of this particular waveform. That is the main applications of this Fourier transform, because in our applications we need the what is the frequency content present the particular waveform we need. That's why this is important. Suppose if all put together, right, due to some some practical cases, if all frequency put together, here we cannot predict, because in previous waveform from the take this waveform. From the waveform itself, we can able to calculate this may not require, right, this much. For example, this particular case, in practically your signals are like this. Now that is the case, right? We need the Fourier. This is one of the applications of our Fourier transform. Right. What is a stationary non-stationary signals? Fourier stationary means with respect to time is a periodic one, is a non-periodic one. FT identifies all spectral components present in the signal. However, does not provide information regarding the temporal time localization of these components because stationary signals consist of spectral components that do not change in time. So all spectral components exist at all the times. You don't need to know any time information. FT works well for stationary signals. So non-stationary signals keep on moving, and you cannot predict on what time that particular disturbance or particular noises happen. Is very difficult to predict by the Fourier transform. So it is a keep on moving, right? Only stationary signals works better. That is the limitation of Fourier transform. That's why they're going for the extension of this Fourier transform. So our non-stationary signal consists of time-varying spectral component. How do you find out which spectral components appears when? So that is the another hint, right? We can going for the further development of Fourier transform. The Fourier transform only provides what spectral components exists and not where in time they were located. Need some other ways to determine time localization of the spectral component. So this is the where the researchers focused, right, how to develop further developing the Fourier transform for the non-sinusoidal, that means non-stationary signals. Okay, right. So this is a stationary signals, right? You can have this, right? Now see here, if it is concentrate right like this, right? If you're mixing up this, have this is the added values like this. Now if you say concentrate like this, right, convolute like this, you can have the waveform like this, right? For this, your Fourier transform may not work, right? At what time it is happening is difficult. What frequency present you can able to locate it, but when it is happening is no, because here you can see at what time it is happening. Here also at what time it is happening. That information is missing in the Fourier transform. So that's why they're going for the further development is called as a short Fourier transform. Simply it is called as a STFT. Here how it is functioning is like a window, just window functions, so moving stage by stage. So from that I can come to which window this particular changes are happen. So that is a main theme of this particular short Fourier transform. Choose a window function of finite length, place the window on the top of the signal at t is equal to 0. At one point you have to start, so I'm called as a t is equal to 0. Truncate the signal using this window. Gaussian window, there's Bell window, there's a different type of window functions are available. Gaussian window is a proven window functions are available. Just to convert this window function with your kernel of the Fourier transform, you can get the short Fourier transform. I tell you that time, right? The window width and all, we can fix it, right? What is the window width is required, you can fix it. So increment slide the window to the right and go to the step until the window reaches the end of the signal. So that's why I can do that. I can for each time location where the window is centered, we can obtain different FT. Hence, each FT provides the spectral information of the separate time slice of the signal, providing simultaneous time and frequency information, right? So instead of going a full stretch in the waveform, the waveforms are subdivided into different windows so that we can have these things. Now see here, now this window functions are introduced, right? Now previously with the x of t, that is f of t with the e to the power of j omega t. This is a Fourier kernel function, basic function. This is the signals to be analyzed, and this is a windowing function concentrated here. It start from t dash, we start from t is equal to 0. Excuse me, right, start there. So STFT signals x of t computed for each window centered at t is equal to t dash. This is how our STFT works. Start from 0, this is a Gaussian function. It moves at t is equal to minus 0.8, t is equal to minus 0.2 center, right? Which point is center, right? And this is t is equal to 4. 4 is center, right? You can see here 4 is center point, and this is a minus 8 is center point. Here this is a minus 2 is a center point. Here you can see t is 8, like that is moving. Now what are the information? At this time span, we can see this particular spectral component is present, so we can able to locate it. Okay, so that's the case here. Right, this is a practice how even MATLAB is demo models available. From that I can take this waveform. Right, this is how our window Fourier, how it is works, right? We can have these signals, right? This is our g of t. Now g of t is a convolute with f of t, you are getting the output. So like that is moving. Okay, so left to right it's moving. Right, now this is a Gaussian function, have there's window function, have hat function, Gauss function, Garber function, anything can be used, but out of this a Gaussian function is more popular than the other functions because it gives a better result compared to the other one. Even we can analyze with a different window function, we can make a comparative analysis. No such issues, right? You can do that. Okay. Okay. Now the Gabor function also, these waveforms look like this, right? Right. These are just for information. Okay. Now the another problem of this short Fourier transform, again, that is window length is fixed, right? Suppose I want the zoom it, I want to increase the window width or decrease in the window width in middle, it is difficult. Okay. So that's why they're going for the Euler transform. Okay, so overcome the present resolution of problem STFT by using variable length window. Analyzing the windows of different length are used at different frequencies. For example, analyze the high frequencies, use the narrow windows for better time resolution. Analyze the low frequency, use wider windows for better frequency resolution. So this is very difficult in this the short Fourier transform in between. This works well if the signal is analyzed mainly consists of slowly varying characteristics with a occasional short high frequency burst. Okay, so Hinsberg principle still holds. Okay, the function used to window the signal is called as a wavelet. Okay, now this wavelet is coming to the picture because of limitations of by varying the windows. Right. What are the wavelets? We can have the new way evaluating the and processing the signals is called as a wavelets. Works on the non-stationary data. Useful in many types of applications. Right. Start from image to two-dimensional to and single-time signals. Everything can be applicable. Use of wavelets. Traditional signals analysis Fourier transform based does not indicate when event is occur. That is the drawback of Fourier transform. Time frequency accepts relative again information about the frequency composition of a signal at a particular time. Fourier analysis does not work discontinuous bursty data. Right, wavelet analysis is different non-Fourier way looking at the signals. Here no sine cos function, so it is a different way. So that only this works. Right, this is a function of the wavelet. So here you can continuous wavelet transform signal is as x of t using the analysis of the wavelet is y of t. Y of t again is mentioned, it is defined in this mother wavelet, and this is a translation parameters, scaling parameters, right? How much you have to shift it, how much you have to scale it, everything can be decided based on these values, and the normalization constant, this can be defined. Then a signal to be analyzed. This is the mother wavelet. All kernels obtain translation shifting or scaling and mother wavelet. So that is the biggest advantage of this particular wavelet. In previous case, you can see this is an e to the power of something. So e is nothing, but again you can I theta can be put as a j omega t. You can put as a cos omega t plus j sin omega t. It's a cos and sine function. But here no such trigonometry terms or places here. So only is purely it is a shifting and translation. So that is a important things. So the scale can be defined as in terms of frequencies. Based on the frequencies, we can select the frequencies, right? Scales, right? This is how your how the continuous your wavelet is working, right? For each scale at each position, you have to do this process. You have to multiply the signal with the mother wavelet for all the time. Then you have to finish the case. So you can get the position, coefficient, and scale. That means which place and which position, right? What type of frequency component are present, you can able to get these particular informations, right? Now just you can see Fourier and versus wavelets. Last time localization coordinate completely unless the whole signal, and short piece lose the frequency meaning, that is a Fourier. Here localized time frequency analysis, both the time and frequency at the same time. Short signal pieces also have significance, scales equal to frequency band. So the frequency band we are getting this. Okay. Right. Now the wavelets can be defined as the wavelet transform is a tool that cuts up the data functions or operators into different frequency components and then study each component with the resolution matched with the scale. So there is a wavelet defined. So you can Dupaches as Ingrid Dupaches has invented this wavelet. You can call it as a father of wavelet. It's a sine wave. So this you can put a mother wavelet. So even you can go in the search in the Google also Dupaches 1, 2, 3 like that. And Inslee Har has started there is a invention about these wavelets. Then Dupaches has continued. Then he has derived the lot of mother wavelet they are using for the application purpose. Okay, so this is the types of wavelets. The mother wavelets. Har is nothing but inventor name. So Har wavelets, Sanan wavelet, Mayer wavelets, Dupaches wavelet from 1 to and say it is 16, 17, even 32 is there. Depends on the number, the coefficients get vary, accuracy get increases, but it takes a more complex, computation time. So that it has to be based on the application you have to choose, right? wavelet is a D1 here. The D1 is a Haar wavelet. Is a given the benchmark here, fundamentals. Based on that, he has developed the further things, right? The Debye simulates is also there. Then Coffee-Man wavelets, this is called coefficients. Everything available in Google, you can see, right? What is the nature of the waveforms? What is this coefficient? You have to give it as a window function. You have to you can do the program it, you can get the output. Okay, so this is the shape of the where Mexican had a dB3 Gauss, right? What is the shape of the your mother wavelet? Okay, discrete wavelet transform, subset of the scale and position based on the power. Whereas continuous again, right? While comparing that to the your program side, it's difficult. So they're going for the discrete instead of integration. They're putting as a summation symbol. Okay, power of 2 rather than every possible set scale and position continuous wavelet transforms, like upsampling, downsampling. That process are taking place here. Behaves like a filter bank signal coefficient. Coefficient out, downsampling necessary twice as much data as original signal. So that has to be done because every time there is a downsampling, right, required, because upsamplings are happening here, we have to do the downsampling, right? So this is a discrete wavelet transform mathematical right representation expression of this one. Dyadic sampling of time frequency plane results in a very efficient algorithm for computing DWT. Subband coding use multi-resolution analysis. I tell you that what is that? Dyadic sampling and multi-resolution is achieved through a series of filtering up and down sampling operations. So that in a multi-rate signal processing, you have to study about this upsampling, downsampling while going for the multi-resolution analysis. While going for subbanding, right, subband coding and all, we require the necessary upsampling, downsampling to be done to complete that process. So that is the basic things, right? So this is called as a downsampling, right? Well, the decomposition is downsampling to be taken place because dividing, for example, 120 samples, here you can have 60 and 60. So that's a downsampling here. If you are for reconstruction purpose, you have to introduce the zeros in between these two. It's called as upsampling. So you have to do the recon. Then only you can have, suppose here 120 samples means here you can 120 samples. Otherwise, some samples are to be here. It can be right, it will be lost. To meet out that they're using for this, right? So here you can see it's a high pass filter, it's a low pass filter. It's act as a all based on the filter coefficients. It's act as a high pass. This act as a H represent high pass, G represent the H represent the low pass and G represent the high pass. Okay, here it shows the 2-level decomposition. Like that you can have n number of the decomposition. This is a first level. So first level x of n are divided into G and H. Again, the H is divided into G and H. So this is a 2-level. Again, this H is divided into GH. Like that, if you go, it is called as a multi-resolution analysis. That's all. That is also based on the how much accuracy is required and how much input samples are required. Based on that, you can go with the analysis. For our analysis and the power quality analysis purpose, only 3 level is enough. If you go beyond that, it gets saturated. So the most of the information become lost because here some information going that is become lost here. So we cannot do any processing or analysis here. So we have to stop with the maximum of 3. Right. So this is how our discrete wavelet transforms works in simplified manner. Signals, low pass and high pass, like a filters. We have this. The information arrived from low pass called as approximation coefficient, and the high pass coefficient called as a detailed coefficient. So detailed coefficient only can have all minute changes, and approximate this coefficient gives the all. You can have the whatever the things frequently happen, that is represent this approximate. Take for sinusoidal waveform. Most are frequently happen, so the detailed coefficient is at 0, but here you can get some values. Okay, that will I'll show it. Okay, now the results of wavelet transform are approximate details. You can see here. So these are low frequency signals, and this is a detailed. You can have the high frequency. Approximate, you can have the all the details. These are high frequency details, right? You can have the high frequency. You only wherever the noise is present, that only is shown here. They say you can see here input signal yes, approximate coefficient at the level 1 decomposition, and detailed coefficient at the level coefficient. This is a low frequency component. This is a high frequency component. Okay. Right. This is how we can have the reconstruction, decomposition, reconstruction are taken place here. Now input signals are decomposed into A into D. That is a high pass. This is a low pass. First level. Again, this is decomposed into A2 and A3. There is A1, it becomes A2, and this is A3. This is first level. Here taken first level. Here taken second level, third level, the fourth level, fifth level, like that is happening, right? So every time getting the your detailed coefficients. So every time this is a leaving, right? But at the end of the reconstruction, you have to take the all the values, right? You can have the A5 and the all your detailed coefficients to be recombined so that reconstructed that can be taken. Right. Now wavelet synthesis, we can take this after processing is over, you have to synthesize the samples. So you have the up samples you have to be done so that we can get the as like original signals, we can reconstruct the signal. This is called reconstruction. So decompose it, do the processing, do all type of analysis, what are the mitigations, everything can be done, what are the filtering can be done. At the end, you have to reconstruct, you can get the original signals. Okay, this is called as a multi-level wavelet analysis. That is called as a multi-resolution analysis. S can be divided into A into D. A can be do like that. You can have the reconstruction signal can be done like this. Okay, so these are digital signals. Suppose you have signal like this, you can have the spectrum and reconstruction. After do the process, we can do the reconstruction of these things, right? So this is the about the for using the Fourier transform. Now you can see here. This is about the Fourier transform. There is a some right small clinches is there here, right? So but you can go for the wavelet transform. The construction is almost perfect. Okay, so these are standard signals just for verifying the algorithms. They are verified by using these particular signals. Okay, the analog signal, suppose you have signal like this, right? Let us assume you can give the input signal like this. Fourier spectrum you can get like this, right? And this is your reconstruction signals here, right? I'll compare just reconstructing. Maybe you can remove some of the portion, or you can add. Finally, you can reconstruct. Just you can put FFT, then inverse FFT you can put. You can get like this. The ninth level coefficients, analog signal ninth level coefficients are like this. Now this is the reconstruction. You can see almost like a perfect one. Okay, this is right input signals, and you can have the perfect signals. So these standard signals are considered to validate the algorithms, right? So once the algorithm is working properly, now we can use it for our applications. Just for this validation purpose, standard signals are compared with a lot of noises, with the lot of noises. These standard signals are compared with the your Fourier transform and the wavelet transforms. Okay. Now the wavelet toolbox also available in the MATLAB. Wavelet toolbox contains graphical tools and command line functions for analysis, synthesis, denoising, and compression of signals and images. These tools work particularly well in non-stationary data. So this is available in the MATLAB's ready-made tool. If anybody interested, you can start working on that. You can give the input, ARO the input, you can give it as a import the file to the input, you can do that. These tools are used to do for denoising, compression, feature extraction. We are using only these features for our applications, enhancement, pattern recognition in many types of application and industries. Okay, this is how we can use it. You can go to file, you can import the file. This input comes here. You can take this analysis here. You can take the reconstruction signals. You can change all the data size. You can have wavelet. Everything can be changed here. You can do that. Okay, now coming to the applications, as we discussed earlier, many applications. So, but we are using these features, right? Feature extraction purpose, we are using that. Okay. Now for we are constructing the Simulink model. Previously with the toolbox, now with the Simulink model also, there is a wavelet, right? To have software showing is there, right? You can use the wavelet model. We can do that. Analysis of filter bank, right? You can take that. You can build it. You can do that. Okay. So that also can be done. So here, this is the input signals, right? Input, this output, the noise are removed. You can put, if you take the detailed coefficient, you can remove the some of the detailed coefficients, you can take the pure signals, can be done. So that like that can be done. Similarly here also you can do a lot of analysis, can be done by the load the signals here, and you can have the input signals, approximate coefficients, all detailed coefficients, high frequency components are here, and based on the whatever the filter you want to put, you can remove that particular things, then you can reconstruct, you can get the signals, what is the required signals you may be obtained. You can do all type of other analysis also. You can do the statistics can be done, denoising, histogram also can be done, right? What are the different right components are present, that also can be done. Everything can do that in this wavelet toolbox, right? This is another input signals. Vary the input signals. You can choose the threshold values, right? Accordingly, you can see how the outputs are getting, right? Now coming to the this analysis wavelet for how we can use it for the our power qualities, right? Using soft computing approach. So these are raw data. Then data is selected by using the extract feature extraction, selecting the data, then data formatting, data compression, data mining, they can take the decision. So that can be done. So electrically supplied network can be done. Okay, that can be done. This is some applications. Right now, this is the input for the your MATLAB through toolbox, Violet toolbox. These are inputs I consider as electrical input. So sinusoidal, sag, swell, transient, flicker, harmonic is standard signals. Is a standard signal with the standard time durations. Just for testing purpose, we are given as input, and this is the your output of the your filter Violet toolbox. You can see here for sinusoidal signal, no values. This is detailed. All the detailed component is 0 here. Here, whenever changes are taken place, it will reflect. Here also reflect. For transients, it reflect. Here flicker. You can see just previous on this diagram. Exactly, you can find out some glitches here because here is some disturbance. Okay, so this is how your Violet toolbox works better for the applications, our application side. And now based on these things, right, just for testing purpose, we only started now. Just for testing purpose, we have simulated the simple system. We constructed the simple system using a MATLAB simulating model for EVCS. So that contains the your transformer, transformer 2, right? Our thing with you the simulating simulating diagram. We can do that, all those things, right? Some specifications. What are the right specifications required that we can put it here. And this increase in power demand also we are calculated by just varying the load, right? For 1 day, you can see that. And what is the megawatt is used, right? Just for only some study purpose, we have done this, right? And harmonic disturbance, you can see the magnitude of harmonic disturbance at the different phases. You can see here, there's a lot of harmonic disturbance because of connecting the your EVs, right? 3 EVs and 5 EVs, an increase in the EVs, right? It also increased, right? This is a voltage disturbance, right? We can have the voltage input connecting charger, input voltage connecting the charger, right? After some certain durations, right? You can this also get distorted lot. Now the transfer power loss also very huge, right? Under harmonic current is increasing considerably, right? Cluster of EV charging can be cause transformer overloading and thereby increasing the power loss. The overloading scenario of a distribution transformer obtained from MATLAB simulation with the different EV load side on the shown table. So you are getting the for different for increasing the harmonic current, your transformer also conservative is getting loaded. Okay, when increasing the EVs, right? So now coming to the solution issues, so I discussed, right? Here you can have the different issues, right? So this is the conventional, mitigation techniques, right? Is there, right? In this, we are planning to still how can be improved, right? This is a conventional mitigation techniques you can incorporate with the available grid. You can take the solution to overcome the power quality issues, right? So this is how so far discussed, started with the introduction of EVs, coming to the conclusion, that is introduction of EVs, and in the introduction of EVs, sudden increase EVs is a threat to the power quality, production harmonics, increased power demand, voltage fluctuation, power loss, etc., which have been analyzed. Although EV has several advantages, it requires the mitigate impacts on the power system, which is discussed. The power quality analysis using Violet transform also discussed, right, the brief manner, and also I got told some of the applications how this Violet can be used to detect and classify the fault and solution of peak issues. Just conventional I got shown, right, like that you can go with some proposed intelligent one. Okay, further the scope of this a particular area analysis can be done for quick charging station, right? For let us think about for normal charging itself, it produces the lot of power quality issues. Let us assume there is a quick charging, right? Quick charging, right? So how still can be right? What is the other cases still, right? What are the further impact on the system? That studies can be done. Energy storage management is a bigger area, right? How the energy can be stored is like a battery, right? How battery management studies can be done. Then another important here it is I have not discussed, right? That about the supercapacitor for high torque application. Suppose your vehicle is moving, another vehicle want to take overtake, right? By the time they need extra energy. For the time, how to use a supercapacitor for the giving to supply the extra energy. Then intelligent, intelligent based electric vehicle charging station can be developed. So these are the some of the areas still people can think over and they can make work on those things, right? So that they can have a lot of scope on this particular area. Okay, so these are some of the reference, and of course above all I can refer the Google, and also we have used some of the data what we are discussed, everything we have used, right? So any questions participants can ask now, right? So time for questions, right? I'm sorry, right? I took a little bit late. Right, I want to convey all the informations. That's why I'm showing a little bit faster in the last few slides, as well as the right. I took late. I took some extra time also, right? So during lunch hour, I disturbed lunch. I'm sorry for that. Okay, due to some meeting, official meeting, I'm not able to connect in right time, so that's why some delayed. So that is compensated now. So any questions you can ask me now. This is my contact informations. All right, I'm working in the area of power quality, the grid side, microgrid side, now recent with the smart grid, and in combination with the EVs also. So this where you can use it, right? So right, my name NP Subramaniam. You can my mail ID is np.ps.edu. This is my number I'm using for both right mobiles and as well as the WhatsApp. So with this, I conclude. And here I would like to once again, I thank the KSR management and the convener of this program, then head of the department, Dr. Ilangovan sir, and the organizer, coordinator madam, Divya madam, right, and the another organizer of this particular program, right, whoever directly, indirectly are supporting me to be act as a resource person for this wonderful program, right. I thank you all. And before that, I want to wish for all of you a happy New Year wishes, right? With this, I conclude. So, if any doubt in future, also you can mail me, right? If during the free time, I can definitely touch with you, right? So with this, I conclude, right? I come to the conclusion. Thank you all. Wish you all the best, all your future endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much for your valuable presentation for more than 1.5 hours as a coordinator of FDP. I should only thank you. You are not going to say thanks in many times like that and all. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
sir. Thank
sir.
you.
Actually, there is no question from our side. Only
Okay.
appreciation goes
Okay,
to you,
sir.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, sir.
I request, thank you, sir. I request participant if you have any doubt on this topic, kindly raise your question. Our resource person is going to give the answer. Thank you, sir. Thanks for your presentation, sir.
Sorry for that. Apology, sir. Initially, I was
Sir,
late. Because
not sorry, apology at all. You should
okay,
not
okay.
say
Because
that.
I had since college started, no, so I had official meeting, sir. So I went
Okay,
and
okay.
attended. I came, sir. Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Shall I
Yeah.
leave,
Yeah.
sir?
I hope, yes, sir. I hope there is no questions from
Okay.
participant side.
Thank you.
Let
Thank you,
me
sir.
conclude. Yeah. Proceed to MOC. Over to
Okay.
MOC. Can you proceed, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for sharing your expertise in the field of power quality assessment of electric vehicle charging station using wavelet transform. And we are delighted to have a glimpse of topic from you. We could like to inform that the next section will start around 3 p.m. Thank you all.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you all. Shall I leave, ma'am?